If one day, you are the only living person left in the world, and everyone else has turned into zombies, what would you do? If tomorrow, upon waking up, you find yourself the last living person on Earth, and the neighbors on the street are no longer the friendly ones they used to be, but have instead turned into, well, not so friendly neighbors. But don't worry, you watched the Resident Evil Survival Guide on the Safe Stories channel last night, so you're already ahead of the game. First and foremost, you need to ensure the basic conditions for survival. You need to prepare a shelter, sufficient food, and water resources. But food and water are the most crucial, so you need to gather materials to craft a simple armor before heading to the supermarket to collect supplies. A simple armor can prevent you from being scratched by zombies at will, though it only offers minimal protection. So now, discard that Armani you're wearing. What you need is not an Armani suit. Zombies won't think twice about biting you just because you're dressed in one. Now you need to start collecting thick fabric or canvas, which will serve as the protective layer of your armor. Cardboard or plastic sheets can be used as reinforcement materials to withstand minor impacts. Nylon ropes or canvas straps are used to secure your armor to prevent it from falling apart unexpectedly. Duct tape and strong adhesive tape can be used for fixing and patching, while thick foam or sponge provides cushioning to absorb shocks. If you find that you don't have these materials at hand, don't worry. Check around your home and gather the following items: old jeans, a plastic storage box, backpack straps, and the duct tape your grandmother left you. These can serve as alternatives. Also, look for the plastic bottle you had left over from last night and an old pair of shoes. The plastic bottle can be turned into a pair of goggles, and the old shoes can be repurposed into shin guards. Remember, don't forget about the cushioning materials. A sofa cushion and a yoga mat are both excellent choices. They not only allow you to jump higher in front of zombies but also ensure that your skin won't be chafed when you're running away. Then, using the backpack straps and tape, secure everything together. Put on your DIY armor and stand in front of the mirror. Take a spin, strike a pose. If you feel like a superhero, that's the idea. After crafting this nearly ineffective armor, you can then proceed to the supermarket, but don't forget that zombies are also an obstacle in your path.
You could launch some nuclear missiles to eliminate all the zombies.
If you can't do that, then remember to walk lightly, trying to land on your tiptoes to minimize the sound of your footsteps. Of course, this won't prevent zombies from coming to eat you once they catch your scent. So, you'll need something that can make a noise to distract the zombies. For example, take your Bluetooth speaker and place it in a more distant location, then play music at full blast, and remember to play rock music. Now that you've finally arrived at the supermarket, the next thing you need to do is to gather food and bottled water, which are the sources of your life. Head straight to the food section and grab canned goods, including meats, fruits, and vegetables, as they don't require refrigeration and have a long shelf life. Food items like rice, noodles, and oats can be consumed without cooking conditions. And, of course, the most important, bottled water. Remember to take all the stock from the supermarket. After all, who knows if there might be zombie viruses lurking in the tap water waiting for you. Once you've collected the food, you should figure out how to get back to your home because there's so much stuff that it's hard to carry it back home without attracting the attention of zombies. At this point, you should call a moving company, and you could be quite relaxed. Oh, right, in this world, there's only you left, and those people have turned into zombies. There's good news and bad news. The good news is you don't have to pay them anymore, and the bad news is that the payment they might demand could be your body. So at this time, you should remember the scenes from the movies, find 2 wires in the car, and touch them together to start the vehicle. If you can't do that, then you'll have to work harder, making several trips over a few days. And when you leave the supermarket, remember to swipe your credit card. Don't think that just because you're the only person left in the world, you can stop paying. Alright, Now that you have enough food and water resources, the next step should be to build a safe shelter. What should a safe shelter that can prevent zombies from entering look like? Firstly, you need to choose an inconspicuous location to avoid attracting the attention of zombies. Of course, if you live in a small town, you don't need to consider this, just transform your home instead. The structure of the shelter must be robust enough to withstand impacts and forced entries. You should use materials such as bricks, concrete, or steel. Then reinforce the doors and windows with metal bars and install protective railings or safety nets. This will be a task that takes a long time to complete, so remember to check for any zombie hordes around before you start making noise. Next, acquire some solar panels, wind power, or small hydroelectric power generation devices to provide energy, so you can do many things, such as turning on your computer that has no internet connection. If you don't want your shelter to reek of garbage, remember to set up a proper waste disposal system and maintain hygiene inside your shelter. Since you're the only person left in the world, you can go ahead and borrow a trash truck, then find a scenic spot to dump it. Of course, if you can't borrow one, you can dig a hole nearby and bury the garbage, or simply burn it. And of course, that makeshift armor of yours isn't very useful, so to protect your own safety, you can borrow some weapons from a gun store, such as knives, clubs, bows and arrows, or firearms. This way, you can kill a few zombies at will to alleviate your mood whenever you're feeling down. But please don't make too much noise. If you attract a large group of zombies and they surround you, then you can start a new game. Since these weapons are borrowed, you don't have to pay for them. Just remember to return them when their owners come back. Next, to prevent the possibility of your bottled water expiring, you'll need to construct a rainwater collection system. The simplest method is to place a clean plastic water tank under the eaves, allowing rainwater to flow down the sloped roof, pass through a fine mesh filter to remove debris and leaves, then into a gutter, and finally into the storage tank. After a simple disinfection process, the rainwater in the storage tank can be used for cooking and daily drinking. But considering that supplies will eventually run out, you'll also need to plan out a cultivation and breeding area to become self-sufficient. By calculation, you'll need at least 200 square meters of land, then divide this land into different sections for vegetables, fruits, grains, and root crops. These types of crops will suffice to meet your nutritional and dietary needs for a year. Of course, next to the cultivation area, you can build another shelter for breeding animals to provide you with protein and meat. You can raise 10 chickens to provide a steady source of eggs. Due to the reproductive capacity of rabbits, 20 rabbits can supply you with plenty of meat and also provide fertilizer for your garden. You can also dig a fish pond to raise some fish. This way, you can not only enrich your diet with fish but also alleviate your inner stress through fishing. Well, once you've done all of this, you'll have the ability to be completely self-sufficient. What remains is the most important issue of mental stress. After fully achieving the above goals, your mind will become very empty. You can release stress through daily farm work and regular physical training. Artistic activities such as painting and making music can provide solace to your soul. But in reality, you will only become more lonely, as few humans can survive alone without communication for extended periods. So, you can stop this fantasy now, as you have completed this world. Good night, have a sweet dream. Remember, this is just an entertainment video, and real survival skills are much more complex. But who knows, maybe one day, these little tips could come in handy. So, keep watching, keep learning. Who knows, maybe tomorrow you really will face such a situation, and all I can say is, rest in peace.